killed it that
We killed
time.
it? Okay. I
We
thought it was
killed
completely
it.
off.
Muscle science for women, killing
Oh,
it. Okay. Welcome. We're on
welcome
fire
to the
today
show.
already. We haven't even started, just on fire. All right. Oh,
Hello,
how you
I'm
doing?
Rachel.
Oh, I'm
Okay.
Ashley. I'm Ashley. Nice to meet you. We're glad you're here.
We are, yes, and we're ready to talk about
Oh, okay. Let's do this.
stuff.
This will be funny. Let's start right off the bat because we're just going to dive into some questions because I frankly don't have any interesting life news for you for this episode. So it is what it is.
Same.
But we have a really unique email from our, I'm going to say, I don't know for sure, but I think probably our number one male listener who just happens to be my husband. So he lives in the house with me, but he sent a unsolicited email to the formal Muscle Science for Women email inbox, which for all of you listeners is musclescienceforwomen@gmail.com, the number 4. Please send us an email. We love to get them. But he is, I've talked about him before. Shout out to Alex. He is just the best supporter of the show. He fully listens to it every time it comes out, every day it drops. He's listening. He wakes up at 5 and exercises, and he listens to our podcast, which, again, you could say he's biased. He likes us, he knows us, but also, like, he doesn't have to listen to it. It's Muscle Science for Women.
Yeah.
He's not taking most of this advice, but he, in the spirit of supporting us, but also just being a lifelong learner, he listens to it. He fully listens to it and gives me feedback. And one day, I guess he was just feeling really inspired, and he sent us an email with a ton of questions, borderline too many questions. But some of them are really kind of cool thought experiments. And this is what I've been hoping someone would send us, because as I've said before, and I know it's our job, but sometimes I get tired of answering macro questions and calorie questions and what kind of workouts to do questions, right? And he asked us some kind of, out there questions. So I thought it would be cool to, I mean, we don't have to answer all of them because literally it's a massive email, but I thought we could answer maybe 1 or 2 of them today. And then maybe it will inspire some listeners, maybe even some male listeners, to send in some weird questions of their own, because no question's bad, right? Probably within reason. Don't be
Within reason,
nuts, but
yes.
don't be creepy
Don't
or
be insane.
weird or insane or do stupid shit. But send us some off the wall questions if you want. Do you have anything to add to this? Because I know when you probably saw the
No,
email
I'm
in the
just
inbox, you were like,
intrigued
"Excuse
which
me."
one you're gonna choose.
Yeah, well, I did have one that, where is it here? It was about, oh, I gotta find it now. Dang it, hold on. The optimal meal, where is it? There's so many questions in this thing. I
I know,
wanted
I was
to, can you talk for a minute while I look for this? There are so
yeah.
many emails. Oh,
So
I got it. I found it. I found it.
okay.
Okay.
Thank God, because I didn't know what to say.
You're like, so do you have any interests? Yeah, okay. Okay, so one of the questions from our number one male listener, it's a thought experiment, and this is going to have to be off the cuff because I think that kind of makes it more interesting. He's asking both of us. We've been tasked to design the ultimate meal to support health span, not like growing muscles or whatever, but health span in all humans. Every human on Earth will only eat this meal for the rest of their lives. So, like, think it's like post-apocalyptic. Everyone's like drinking Soylent Green, whatever. And he's saying resources aren't an issue, so you don't have to worry about the logistics, and you can have as much of any type of food available as you want. What would you put into that meal? Ultimate meal to support health span.
And you can only eat this one meal, but it can be a meal
That's what it's saying. Yeah.
of all the things we want in it.
Well, I mean, I think there's got to be within reason here, because you can't say like the meal has 50 ingredients and it's like the top 50 best foods. Like it has to be like you're
Yeah.
sitting down, there's a plate in front of
Okay.
you, it's your
I think
dinner.
I have a little bit of an option.
Okay, you go for it.
But do you want me
No,
to go
no. Oh,
first?
no, you go first.
Okay. All right. Well, I will start with probably Does it? Okay. I'm trying to think. Steak. So a type of steak. I want a steak
Okay.
that is not super fatty, but not super lean. So it's like maybe like a New York
Mhm.
strip or like something like that to get that good, all the nutrients that we know are in steak, and maybe we top it with a little organ meat if that's available. You're gonna get lots of protein from that, a little bit of fat. I'm gonna pair that with some type of uh potato, something starchy, right? Like sweet potato, something that's got color for more nutrients there, a little starchy to get some energy from that. I'm gonna also add some nice colorful things like vegetables, fruits, maybe specifically, I'm like trying to think of the most nutrient dense uh like vegetable to choose, but I'm having like a blank, and then the most nutrient dense
Listen, we
fruit.
don't have, this isn't too high pressure because no one's actually
Okay.
going to take this and make every human
I'm
in
I'm
the world
I'm
eat it.
like
This is
having
off the cuff.
anxiety. Okay, so that, and then a little bit of olives, because olives are
Mm.
nice monounsaturated good fat, and sprinkle some salt on top. There we go.
Okay, I love this. And
There.
I do love doing the off the cuff a little bit because you're telling us what you chose and also why you chose it, right? So then you go back to like you need some protein, you need some fat, you need some like colorful antioxidant rich vegetables, whatever. Like this, the
Mhm.
practical application of this is like, how do we put together a good, well-rounded meal? Like that's what it is, you know? Um,
Mhm.
Okay, I would say I was trying to throw something together while you were talking. So I gotta say liver. So I'm gonna say some kind
Mhm.
of liver pate. Technically, it would have to be beef liver, even though chicken liver tastes better. But like beef liver, but you can add some low sugar, high quality organic blueberry jelly or jam on top of it.
Blueberries. I was thinking that.
Yes, so blueberries for the antioxidants and the carbs, whatever, but also it really cuts the intensity of the liver taste. So, I mean, that's like what a good charcuterie board has, right? It's got some liver pate and you got some like berry jam. So I would say that. And then maybe like some purple sweet potato, I think, like a
Mhm.
Japanese yam or
Mhm.
something, because that's really delicious and like the
Uh,
nutrient dense, the starch. Um, Maybe, I don't know, some like lightly salted, well, salt on everything. Oh, and then lots of butter on the potato
mhm.
for the fat. And then maybe like a nice on the side water with like some grapefruit juice in it, like some citrusy, not even because that's so important for health, but I just think it would taste
Mhm.
good. And it's like nice to have, some vitamin C, like maybe a little salt in the water, and then some chocolate. Because chocolate has antioxidants, chocolate has
I
fiber,
love
chocolate is good, and it helps with morale. So that's good for your health span also because it will make you
mhm.
happy. So,
I think the only thing that I forgot and we forgot is maybe a little bit of omega 3s from like some type
mm,
of like
oysters.
fish, or there you go.
Oysters. Add some oysters on top of that. Perfect human meal. Love it. Writing it down. Perfect human meal. I think we killed that. I think we nailed it. But I love that kind of thought
Agreed.
experiment thing. That's kind of cool. It's really
Yeah.
fun. So again, shout out to the big guy who lives in my house, who listens to the podcast religiously. I'm going to tell him he's going to listen to this. So I'm just going to tell him right now. You listen to this on Spotify, leave a comment, right? Leave a
Yeah.
comment on the
Yeah, let
podcast.
us know
Oh,
what you would
yeah.
answer, how you would answer this. How would you
Yes. What
answer
would
this?
you add? What would you change? What would you make for the perfect human meal? Love it. Okay. Sweet. All right. Okay. So we'll get to
Cool.
like I said, he gave us like 20 questions, but we will maybe just sprinkle them in throughout
Yeah.
future episodes because there's a lot going on there. Okay. What other questions do we have? Not that
Mhm.
one. There was another one that I had lined up. Um,
Um,
we're gonna have to edit this because
well,
an
no,
uncomfortable blank space.
no, we're just talking. What? Yeah, I'll probably have to edit this. I'll
Oh,
be
the Julie
honest.
Miller one. Do you want to? No, we can't do that one. That one has to come later.
Did we
Oh,
do the Police Midnighter one by Stephanie? I cannot
I
remember.
don't know if we did, but this one I just saw. Did you see this one about whey and acne?
Oh, I did see that come in.
Okay, I didn't
It
see
was
that. Do
more
you
so of a
want
comment than a question, but we
to?
can read
Okay.
it.
Okay. All right. Well, we've got
Um,
Yeah, Elizabeth.
Yeah,
How did I not see that? Anyway,
it just
she
came in this morning.
Okay. Okay. She says, "Hi, I love the podcast. Just one thing I heard on the most recent podcast. I work in dermatology, and there are very few foods that have been scientifically proven to cause acne in susceptible individuals. One of them is whey, as well as skim and low fat dairy. So, a person who says that whey is breaking them out, or they're breaking out when they have whey, that's likely legit.
Yeah.
Thanks, Liz. So that is interesting feedback. I would love to know if Liz wants to write back and help, because we have talked on and off about skin stuff here on the podcast, and I'm interested. What is a susceptible individual, right? Like, what makes somebody susceptible to like skin issues from food versus not? Is it like a gut health thing? Like, if they fix their gut permeability issues or whatever, could they maybe be okay with whey? And, she mentions too, skim and low fat dairy. So if you're putting like cream in your coffee, or if you're eating like whole, high fat yogurt or something instead of the lower fat, would that be better? It seems like maybe it would. And I know we're talking like whey and protein here, but it kind of goes with, women still tend to have this tendency towards, okay, well, I'll do the dairy, I'll do the yogurt or whatever, but I'm going to go low fat because I want less calories and I don't want to, eat too much fat. But that could end up causing actually more digestive issues, more skin issues, the stuff that you don't want to have, right? So,
Hmm.
yeah, if she's listening, Liz, if you're listening, I'd love to maybe hear more of that.
Yeah. And I think too, just like we talk about all the time, like the quality too, like there could be other things. So I think just still being open to, if you try whey one time and you break out, is it actually the whey in that, or is it other things? So like being open to trying other things. You don't have to consume whey, like, but it's just not having just like, oh, this one person said this thing and I tried it once and then just like completely forget about it. Be open to potentially trying out,
Yep.
other things. So
Yep.
yeah.
Cool. I love when people like send us messages with their
Mhm.
expertise and information, because we want feedback. We want, let's crowdsource. You guys are listening. If you have expertise, like, send it to us. We love that.
Agreed. Do we want to do another question from Alex?
Well, we can, but I actually forgot about this one from Jane that I would
Oh,
like to touch on. So
okay.
maybe,
Yes, absolutely.
do you want to read
Let's go
it?
for it. Yes. It is the folate one.
Yeah.
Okay. Jane said, "Hi guys, I'm getting ready for hopefully pregnancy and want to be as natural as possible. I eat liver a bit, and the internet says it's a great source of folate, but it's contraindicated in pregnancy. I am a carnivore because autoimmune stuff comes up when I eat plants. So if I can't eat liver but can't do plants, how do I get folate? I guess it's okay to eat liver before getting pregnant, and I know I can supplement, but would prefer to get it from food." She said, "Maybe I'm holding myself back with this thought. I am open minded. Would love your wisdom. Thank you. Your podcast keeps us all inspired, happy, and sane."
Love
Well,
that.
I love that. I
Hmm.
know you have some things to say about this.
I do have some things to say about it. And I know, Jane, we are internet friends. So, hi, Jane, and thank you for sending in this message. And, pre-congratulations if you're working on getting pregnant. That's amazing. That's super exciting and comes with a ton of stuff to learn about and deal with. So, it's a lot, but it's cool and it's exciting. So, a couple things to talk about here. So she mentions liver is a great source of folate, which it is. It's also a great source of pretty much any vitamin and mineral and micronutrient that you could ever need. So you guys know that I'm a big fan of it. I'm telling people to eat liver all the time. It's contraindicated in pregnancy. And so, of course, here we got to do the caveat, not a doctor, not your doctor. This is not medical advice. This is informational. This is educational, entertainment, whatever. Go do your own research. Just telling you what I believe. Um, Lots of things are advised in pregnancy that are stupid and contraindicated, maybe too generally speaking, right? Like, unless it's contraindicated for you specifically by your care provider, I would look a little deeper and think a little bit more about this. Again, I've talked ad nauseum about going on pregnancy apps that tell you, make sure you get your protein in pregnancy. Here are our top recommendations. And they list peanut butter and chickpeas. Okay. So we know for a fact that these people don't have all the information or the best sources because they don't list animal products. They don't list anything that is a high. Listen, we don't need to dive into this again about why peanut butter isn't the best source of protein that you could get. Whatever, right? They're not going to promote animal products. Now, the biggest fear around liver is vitamin A toxicity, which can be a problem. And anything that's a problem for you is extra scary when you're pregnant, right? For the vast majority of us, it's extremely difficult to get a clinically bad high reading of vitamin A from whole foods alone, especially liver, which is not a hyperpalatable food that you're going to eat, 12 ounces of a day, right? So again, talk to your doctor, talk to your care provider, maybe get some blood work, figure out if you have some kind of special concern about this. But if not, eating a couple ounces of liver every few weeks in pregnancy is probably a very good idea. Again, not your doctor, but I believe it. And that's what I did. I ate oysters, I ate liver, I ate steak, I ate all the red meat I could find. I ate all of that during pregnancy, and I believe very strongly that it helped me. So that's one big part. Now, getting into the folate, if you don't feel like you can get enough from food, should you supplement? Again, I can't tell you you should take supplements and which ones you should take. I will say that I think, again, when we're talking about the really acute, specific period of your life, when you're trying to create a human from scratch with your own body, maybe supplementing and making sure you're getting this extra stuff is a good idea. I don't think that supplements, especially in this kind of case, is inherently an evil or bad or, something you should be ashamed of. Like, I can't get it from real food or whatever. I think that a really high quality prenatal supplement is a good idea for a lot of people. So maybe do your research and see if you can find one that you think is appropriate for you. There's a lot of conversation out there about the differences between folate versus folic acid supplementation. And it can be confusing, and I'm not like 100% versed on this, but basically folate, it's found in a lot of different foods, like we mentioned, including vegetables. Folic acid is the synthetic form of folate, and that's why you find folic acid in a lot of supplements instead of folate. And as always, with the synthetic form of stuff, it's not quite as bioavailable, but at the end of the day, it's better than nothing, I think, is my understanding. And prenatal vitamins are widely recommended for a reason. So if you just can't eat enough of the stuff that you should be doing, it's probably a good idea. I've also done, and this is where it gets a little more shady. So again, don't necessarily take it with a grain of salt and go do your own research. But I was doing a little bit of research about this, and there's a product called 5-MTHF, which is a naturally occurring form of folate that's very well absorbed in the body. And you can get this in supplement form too. So again, I haven't tried this. I haven't researched beyond the sort of surface level, but it may be something you want to look into. And then lastly, I'll say someone who is very well versed in this is Dr. Lily Nichols. She wrote a number of books about nutrition in pregnancy and postpartum. And I have her books on my shelf. I have had her on podcasts in the past. Maybe she might be somebody we might bring on in the future just because she has such great information. But she has very well researched articles online. And I'll find one specific on her website and put it in the show notes so that you can do some more reading. But go follow her on social media, go get her books. She has done the work and she has the science to back it up, and she can answer a lot of your questions. So go follow Dr. Lily Nichols. But, again, short summary, probably just eat some liver. It would not be bad. And also look into a supplement for a short period of time. I don't see that there's anything wrong with that. And that's my rant on that.
I thought that was great, and I have absolutely nothing to add.
Great. Okay. So liver, good. That's what I want you to know.
Yes.
All right.
Cool.
We're pretty close. Well, this is a short episode. We should answer another question. We gotta give the people what they want. I think I haven't gotten too much feedback about people like not liking the short episodes. I have heard people reach out and say they like long episodes. And I know everybody listens to like, the Hubermans and the Atias of the world. Most
Mhm.
podcasts are all like 8 hours long. So, I think it's good to have a mix of the two, but
Yeah, so why don't we do like
okay,
another quick one?
what's a quick Big Al question? There's some of these are funny. They might take a bit of a longer answer, but this one might be kind of not a good answer, but it's for you specifically. Presumably he knows about
Mhm.
my sleep habits since we're generally in the same room when we're doing it. But he's asking, you've talked about your like noise blocking and like the
Mhm.
crazy layers of levels you will go to not hear anything when you're sleeping. He asks, what are your thoughts on ideal sleep position? Do you have any techniques that you use to help
Mm,
with this? That's again, a very
that's a
next
good
level
question.
question. Yeah.
Yeah, so actually, I probably wouldn't have any thoughts until, sorry, probably wouldn't have many thoughts on this because I just haven't done that much research. But up until actually probably a few months ago, I've had some like lower back issues that have
Mhm.
lingered for years. And I have a new, I guess not so new anymore, muscle. Uh, oh my gosh, I'm like blanking on my words here. A
You
new
have a new
therapist.
muscle? Oh,
I have a
okay.
new muscle. I have a new
You discovered a new one? Oh, I'm so jealous.
massage therapist. I'm
Oh,
like, wait,
okay.
what's the word? Massage therapist. I almost said muscle therapist. Okay.
That's the same
Massage
thing.
therapist who I've been working with. He's really, really good. And he talks a lot about sleep positioning and how that can help or actually hurt different things. And one of the things is like at least from his research, sleeping on your side is not which most people do is not great for you because it
Damn
starts
it.
to cause some unilateral issues, especially if you're always on one side versus the other. So he's mentioned that the actual best position is on your back, with your feet, or sorry, with a pillow under your knees. So you get
Okay.
a little bit of relief from the lower back there. And I mean, it kind of makes sense, right? If you're always sleeping on one side, it could cause, things to shift. It's kind of like if you're always standing with pressure on one of your legs, which is what I used to do, and I never noticed that until he actually started telling me about it. Um, that can cause things to shift, especially if you're chronically doing it. Um, and also what's interesting is he did mention too, like the muscles in your face. Sometimes if you are not sometimes, but if you're someone who always sleeps on the same side, can actually cause atrophy to that side and can cause one of the sides of your face to start to droop a little bit, especially with age, which sucks. So I think to answer this question, I would say, and again, I haven't done my own research on this, but from what I've heard and things that make sense to me would be the best position would be sleeping on your back with something under your knees, like a pillow, which is what I try to do. But I still also sleep on my side, but I always put a pillow in between my legs if
Hmm.
I'm either way, and I try to switch off the sides, but that would be it. And then also just being aware of, okay, if you absolutely can't sleep on your back, are you trying to swap
Okay.
sides, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah,
that's
everything you're saying is bad news to me because I'm a side sleeper and I already know that one side of my face has like more lines on it because that's the side I smush on the pillow every
Mhm.
night. And I'm just like, when am I going to become one of those crazy people who buys like, Instagram's trying to sell me this pillow that has like a hole cut out so that you don't get any lines on your face. I'm like, I'm almost there. I'm so close. But my question is, and I wonder again if a sleep expert can tell us about this, is it possible to, if you're an adult who has always slept on your left side or on your stomach or whatever, can you train yourself to somehow be comfortable and sleep, on your back instead? Like, because, a lot of people who get pregnant, right? They sleep on their back and they can't. When you're pregnant, when you have a big, huge belly, you can't
Yeah.
sleep on your back anymore. So you sleep on your side and then they wake up in the middle of the night on their back and they're like freaking out. Um, are you just gonna, as soon as you fall into a deep sleep, are you just gonna roll over to where you're most comfortable anyway? Is it a
I
losing
don't
game,
know.
basically, is my question. Because I'm a
That's a
side
good
sleeper.
question.
I sleep on one side. When I wake up, I try to switch over to the other side, but like I know I'm not staying over there. I know I'm not.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I don't know. I don't know the answer, but maybe we'll do a little research on that.
Yeah. And it's true though, because the side that I sleep on is the side where all of my problems are. And I don't think the sleep necessarily caused the problems, but I think it's not helping and probably making
Yeah.
it worse. So even sleep will mess you up. That's one of the fun lessons we get to learn as we continue to get older,
Yeah.
that you
But I
will
think being
hurt
a little bit more
yourself sleeping.
conscious about it, if you
Sure.
can, like when you do, that's again, it's just like the awareness. Like for me, the standing thing right now, I'm more conscious of it. Like if I'm leaning to my right, which I used to always do, now I'm more conscious to kind of balance that out a little bit. And I think that's the biggest thing is if you just try to be a little bit more aware, maybe it will have, like each night, it'll have a little bit of effect there. So we
Mhm.
shall see.
All right, I'm going through his
Sweet.
questions and I just feel like they're all like some of the other ones are good, but they definitely will take longer to get into because he really went hard on these thought experiments. So we might just have to wait until next week.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, we
but
can tackle these over the next few weeks, next few
but
episodes.
this one's short and sweet, and that's okay. And guys, if you have burning questions, you know how to get a hold of us now, right? You send us an
Yep.
email, musclescienceforwomen@gmail.com, number 4.
Number
You
4.
send us a message on Instagram. You leave a comment on the podcast if you listen to it on Spotify. And if you listen to it anywhere, if there's any way that you can rate, review, make sure you subscribe, make sure you like do the little thing so that whenever there's a new episode, it goes right into your algorithm and comes up for you. All that stuff is supporting us, right? And we really appreciate it. And we need your validation, or else what the heck are we doing here? Right? There's no
And
point.
sharing on Instagram too. If you take a screenshot, post on your story if you loved it, we will definitely reshare. That helps get the word out for sure.
Do that. Okay. All right.
Awesome. Thanks
Until
for
next time.
listening.
Don't be insane.
Don't do stupid shit.
Don't do
I
it.
love you.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.